Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Builder Spotlight. I'm here with the crypto reporter, and we're really excited about the guest we have today. He is the COO of ENS Vision. Furyan, thank you for joining us.
Hi, hello everybody. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, like I said, we're really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. And would you mind just kind of starting it off, giving us some background information on, who you are, and this could be in real life, hobbies, background, anything that you want to share.
Sure. Well, at the moment, I am one of the co-founders and COO of ENS.Vision, the ENS exclusive marketplace and set of tools to register or manage ENS names. I used to work in Web 2. I had my own company in Croatia, web design and web development. I worked over 100 smaller Web2 projects. Mostly it was businesses in Croatia and Germany. Before that, I used to be a Microsoft licensing specialist and Hewlett Packard pre sales expert. I used to do like corporate sales and licensing and projects for bigger companies in South and Eastern Europe. That would be the short summary of what I used to do. Now I'm in Web3 for about a year and a half, almost two. I really, my entrance to Web3 was my first encounter with ENS, which has happened about almost 2 years ago. I considered ENS as just a new option for blockchain domain name like .com, but really quickly I actually found out the possibilities, the options, what ENS provides as a utility. So I actually stopped using expression like domain name for ENS because I believe it's a Web3 ID. It's not just a domain.
Awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like you've had a whole lot of experience in the tech industry, even before Web3. And the part that you mentioned about the identity aspect, that seems to be kind of a trend with the guests we've had on. Last week we had January Walker, who goes by Utah politician.eth on Twitter. And she spoke about how decentralized identity was what really was going to push Web3 mainstream, not necessarily crypto or NFTs or anything like that. But once we start seeing people really use Web3 for decentralized identity with voting and driver's licenses, things like that was really going to be the huge push for Web3 and mainstream.
Yeah, yeah, true. Well, if you consider the very utility of VNS, it actually does a lot more than just a Web 2 or let's say .com domain. ENS is a multiple social handle, is a contacts handle, is you can add almost 120 different coins, addresses of wallets for different coins and tokens, not just on Ethereum network. You can send Bitcoin or Litecoin or, like I said, almost 120 different coins and tokens. And let's not forget, of course, sign in with Ethereum, which ENS makes a lot easier. So in Web 2, we have sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook or sign in with Apple. On Web 3, we have sign in with your wallet, sign in with Ethereum, which MetaMask, Coinbase wallet, and many other Trust wallet, Rainbow, and so on support. So, to actually get to the basics of ENS, it's a human readable name. That means you don't have to remember your random crypto address of any of your wallets. You can associate all of those wallets to your simple human readable name with .eth extension.
Yeah, there's certainly a whole lot of potential, for ENS with all of the different layovers into other blockchains. the ability to, like you said, just use it as an identity to take the place of that long wallet address. Like all of those things are really important, and there's sure to be a lot of new things that we haven't even really thought about or discovered yet that can be done with this. So really looking forward to just seeing how it continues to grow. But I know that you mentioned that ENS was kind of your first step into Web3. How did you discover ENS? Did somebody tell you about it? Did you just see it on Twitter? How'd you come to find it?
I saw it on Twitter and I experimented a lot. I've been in crypto since 2016 to 2017, and I always had first it was always investments and tradings, but then you need to do a fundamental analysis of different coins and tokens, and that's how I actually started studying technologies on blockchain and experimenting. And about I'm not sure, about 18 months ago, I registered my first ENS. It was Riddick.eth. That's my favorite movie character. And after that, when I registered it, and first time I opened it in ENS app, the manager app, and saw the actual uh, utility of ENS, I wanted to, find out more. Then I've met with some people from the community on Twitter, and the curiosity and the knowledge started to rapidly grow on ENS, and the community was and is amazing. And there's a lot of people that will help you out with practical and normal advice, and you can actually learn really quickly everything about ENS just following a couple of people on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's definitely, the go-to spot, I feel like, for a lot of things in Web3, but definitely ENS. And, we have to hope that as the community and the space continues to grow, that we'll start to see more content on other platforms and, just more people bringing it about, hopefully, sooner rather than later and more of like mainstream media in a sense. But I know that you said it was about 18 months ago that you got into ENS. That's a pretty quick turnaround, to creating your own marketplace. What kind of led you to that? Was it just you just saw the potential in it and were wanting to do something about it? Did you have somebody else that came to you about it?
Yeah, about a little bit more than a year ago, I started ENS, well, support and sales Discord community. Just sharing in a few categories, sharing what ENS names we have registered, a couple of threads with technical information, how to tutorials, advice, and people from Twitter joined really, quickly. And there was in first 3 days there was, I think, about 100 of us, just sharing what we know about DNS, what we have learned. There wasn't much, and still isn't much information. You can't just Google everything about DNS. You can, but the information is really scarce, and it was difficult at that time as a total amateur to even pick up the basic information and how to, where to learn. So we started doing that Discord, and some of the guys that started it with me are still moderators on that Discord. We have about 3,700 members now. And then in March, Zimtente.eth approached me. He is the creator of ES Vision. He started last year in October with his website hexery.org. Hexery is still a website about Ethmoji, about emoji ENS. And in March this year, Zim approached me that he created a bulk search tool for ENS names to see if certain names are available or not. And the bulk search tool was actually able to check like 50 names. Are they available or not? Because ENS app, if you were using ENS app, to search every single name, you would have to type in or copy paste every single name individually. And that was the actual, beginning of the rise of ENS Vision. Started with merging the Discord and the community that I was surrounded with Zimtente's project of bulk search tool for ENS names.
No, well, see, that's amazing. I wasn't aware of that actual story. Um, but I think it's pretty cool how, like you said, people within the community were able to actually see what you guys were doing and then just be able to build on top of it. But if anything, I wanted to quickly ask, because you've been in the space for a while now. So wanted to ask, did you see it or ever envision this going in that direction where it's just like now we're constantly talking about ENS? Did you see that when you were first starting off in the beginning?
Yes, I actually did, and I don't want to talk about future too much, but I am a dreamer and ENS enthusiast, and I believe ENS can go very far. I mean, like globally, very far. It depends on a lot of different aspects, but yes, since day one, when I started learning about TNS, I saw a long-term potential. And I'm not talking about a couple of months or a year or two in advance. I saw potential of 10, 20 years. Who knows where this can go, and who knows what new technologies will appear. But in consider ENS a completely new way of identity in the great network of the internet.
I think we're all on the same page here when it comes to knowing what ENS is and realizing and understanding that it is the self-sovereign identity that pretty much the entire world is going to adapt to. And so it's great that we're all in here while the space is so early, while we're just starting off, while we're just taking off. Um, but wanted to ask, in your opinion, what do you think the biggest use case for ENS is in the future?
It's quite simple. I actually already started talking about it. It's 20 years ago, you couldn't imagine sign in with Google. Right now, only visionaries can see sign in with Ethereum and sign in with ENS, especially because Ethereum address is much easier if you use ENS. You can actually remember it and your full wallet address, or if you have multiple wallets, you can remember it only if you're a Rain Man. So I just believe that the utility of ENS, you can actually check every ENS name you see on any social network, and you can type it in your browser with another extension .xyz, and you will see if that ENS owner, ENS, is actually an ENS user as well. If you type in my ENS with Furyan.eth.xyz, and you open it as a website, you will see my Twitter handle, you will see the website I represent, you will see my Telegram handle, you will see my email, you can see my avatar. There is much more, tools. So it's definitely ID card slash bank card slash business card or contact card. And that is a merger of different identities we use in real life and in virtual life. So we have social handles. We can sign in with Ethereum to many different apps on Web3, and you have that contact ID where you can share even your phone number if you want to, And now with subdomains incoming, you can actually set a structure for a circle of your friends, for your business, for your family with just subdomains, and you can know each person from your, I don't know, business circle or family. You can actually know by subdomains from the same parent domain the contact of everybody, where you can send money or where somebody can send it to you, ID on social networks, everything you and those people around you that you share that with can share it publicly, or because it's a personal choice now, which is different in Web 2. In Web 3 and with ENS, you share only what you want. You're not under any, you know, almost pressure that you have to define your phone number or anything just to own that email address. Like, for example, if you want to register Gmail, you have to provide certain data, which doesn't happen on ENS. So, yeah, definitely the next level of multiple IDs merged into one single Web3 ID named ENS.
Yeah, just the fact, like you're saying, that all of this information is just like basically combined into one place. One of our previous guests, Sean Murray with Dot Photos, I think the concept is similar to the Dot XYZ site that you shared, but basically he was talking about like the ability to have all of this content that you've previously created and not needing to, create a new account or a new identity when the next social platform comes out. Like that's huge to have one place where everything is stored. um, it's something that needs to happen, and it's something that I think will happen, and it's really looking like ENS is the way to make that happen. So that's really cool. But just kind of going off of that, is there anything about ENS that you think people don't necessarily understand or might misinterpret right now?
Well, yeah, honestly, I believe not many people are in ENS right now. I believe there could be hundreds of millions of people in ENS in the next decade or so, or maybe less, hopefully. People should read and educate themselves. The ENS core development, ENS labs, have their documentation. People should definitely start from the beginning and learn everything about ENS, especially utility, especially the functionality. At this point, there are more people using ENS as NFT collectibles for trading, and a lot less people actually utilizing their ENS. But the ones that do understood and they educated themselves about it. ENS is a simple tool once you learn about it, but quite complex to someone completely new in this technology. And you have to explain how the actual wallet works, how to sign in with Ethereum, what does change of certain data on ENS means, why do you have to pay gas for it. Well, most of the times I even had to explain how the blockchain works. So I believe at the moment, maybe the biggest issue is how to get your personal website or any website on IPFS. I think that's the biggest issue right now, even though there are multiple tutorials about it. I think there is approximately 16,000 plus the web content uploaded on ENS names.
And that's really not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Like you're saying, I think you kind of mentioned it earlier, like it takes a visionary really to understand the future of this and see where it's going. And right now in the early stages when it's still difficult to I guess maybe fully understand what's happening unless you put in the time and energy to read about it. But like you were saying, as more people build things on the ENS names, that's whenever, in my opinion, that things will start to pick up even more so, right? So, like, as people are doing these video call tools and messaging tools and different things that people will actually utilize, that's whenever that 16,000 users will grow a lot more. I know you got have people like Dylan with Heaven's Tools that are putting out website builders to make it easier for people. But it's just like until people really understand what they can do and really start doing it, that adoption is not going to be, where we want it to be in the immediate future. But just with all that being said, I'd love to kind of transition more onto ENS Vision and hear some more on that. I did see, I think it was this morning, Zero put out something saying that you guys were over OpenSea's volume yesterday. So congratulations on that. That's obviously a huge milestone for a company as big as OpenSea to pass them in volume. But would you mind just sharing a little bit more about, what the goals are with ENS Vision and what your kind of long-term plans are?
Sure. Let me just say that yesterday, the total trading volume of ENS names on OpenSea was 32 names, and on ENS Vision was 63. And this is not the first time that happened. And more ENS visionaries come to our platform because we have better search tools, social clubs, filters. There's so many options and tools on ENS Vision that it would take me about 2 hours just to, tell it in short what do we offer to our users. Um, we have quite big roadmap. We want to be ENS all in one stop. When you come to ENS Vision, even now, you can buy names off of OpenSea, LuxRare, X2, Y2 without even leaving ENS Vision, and you don't pay any additional fees to Vision. You just pay fees to the marketplace where you bought that name. So you don't ever have to leave ENS Vision. That's our long-term plan. When we hook you up, you will stay forever there. So for right now, we are working on subdomain multi-optional minting tool and subdomain marketplace. We are preparing some of the updates and upgrades on ENS Manager as well, Premium Sniper, and some, smaller additional features and tools next to it. And that should be done by the first 2 quarters next year. After that, we will start working on version 2 of ENS Vision, which will be even more user friendly, faster, with all tools updated as much as possible. And who knows after that? We might consider. I mean, we have already discussed. We might consider some other EVMs as well. So we can, do some researches on Polygon or Avalanche or Phantom. We will see. Whatever shows up as a good idea, and we do get a lot of good ideas from the community. Who knows where it can take us? We have no intention of just pumping our price shortly and selling out. We want to see another bull market, which should happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So, just keep the team, do not go too wide, keep the team up to 20 people max, and just, keep releasing new updates and the new ideas we get almost every day. We have a huge notes board with, with lots of ideas, and it's just the matter of priority. Yeah, I forgot to mention that we will provide also 2 different categorization options on ENS Vision. One option will be social clubs. The other option will be our way of categorizing through some real life topics, like, let's say, sports, music, I don't know, transport, and so on. Like that's what we call real life categories. And the other part would be social clubs suggested by community and already listed on ENS Vision. Yeah, so we have a 4-year plan. I revealed now some of our, thoughts and ideas, but I would love to keep the bigger part of our roadmap as a surprise because I think you already know we don't like to create a hype. We usually release a new tool or feature, and then a few hours later, we actually announce it on Twitter. We just let our users discover new releases, new features on their own and start talking about it and comments. So we get the initial feedback from our most faithful users, and if so, we can react really quickly. So I would just, leave some of our plans for the future unrevealed, and just surprise you many times in the future.
Well, I can speak for, I think, all of the ENS community and say that we're definitely looking forward to seeing what those surprises are. I think what you said is 100% accurate. You guys do a lot more action than a lot more of the talking, right? When you guys do something, nobody's even, knowing it's coming, and then we see it one day on Twitter, and then it's blowing up, right? Just like you said, like, the community is what's building this, but it's because of the great things that you guys are doing. The free tools that you guys offer, the ability to really analyze the market with the filters you have, like, all of that stuff is so awesome and just amazing to be able to use to get a better understanding of the market. And I really look forward to seeing what else you guys add to it for sure. I know you mentioned that you wanted to keep the team to like no more than 20 people. I was listening to a space the other day and it's really small right now, right? Isn't it only just like 4 or 5 guys that are really doing all the work here?
Yeah, there's 5 developers, a product manager, and assistant manager. So in total, there's like eight of us.
So throughout this journey, I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite part about working with the Vision team? And then also, what were the challenges that you guys, first had starting out?
Well, what I most enjoyed with ENS Vision is when we started. Zim was in a basement, I was in a garage, and well, that situation didn't change a lot. But one of the first things, I mean, people started really using the bulk search tool. And then the first social club, the 999 club, minted out the 3 digits, and I was really active on Twitter, like 14, 16 hours a day on Twitter, and the Discord I was talking about 20 minutes ago. I was really active and I was reading a lot, and I don't know if I just figured it out or read it somewhere that it would be logical that after 3 digits the 4 digit club should come out as listed on ENS Vision as verified ENS, because there was some, bad attempts, people registering actually 3 digits and a letter L because it looks a lot like number one, or a letter O instead of zero, so it wasn't a real 4 digit. And I shared that thought with Zimtente, and he released the dictionary for the 10K club 20 minutes later. And that response, first of all, how I don't know how I picked up that idea. I probably read it on Discord or on Twitter, and just suggested to him that we should release a 4 digit official verified dictionary so people could find out which 4 digits are still available to register. And the way he responded that quickly, imagine having something online in 20 minutes after the idea is born. And then, of course, the next 4 or 5 days, and all the reactions and all the hype and all the emotions on Discords and Twitter communities, that was just amazing. And of course, watching the Google Analytics of how many people are online on our web page at that moment. That was probably one of that and the release of the marketplace. Those were two best moments in the NS Vision.
Gotta love it. Like I said, I could just see where this is going, and the fact that, you know, you're working in the basement, in a garage, just starting out with that bulk search tool. I think we're gonna look back on this moment and really say that this whole ENS summer that's just recently had passed was really in thanks to and in part due to the fact that there was ENS Vision out there. There was finally a platform for us to be able to buy, sell, trade domain names. And like you said, these domain names that are really something more than just domain names, pieces of self sovereign digital identity. And so I always love hearing the story. I always like looking back and seeing how far we got from that recent point. And I really can't wait to see what happens in the future. But I did want to wrap it up here and end it on our last question, which we asked every single person this one question, and you probably know it by now, but if you could have any .eth, what would it be and why?
That would be that would be my first ENS I ever registered. It is Riddick.eth. It's the first name I ever registered. I even got airdropped by ENS for registering it, and it's just a, I don't know, a personal connection. Now I use Furyan.eth, and the film character Riddick is actually from planet Furia, which means it's Furian. And I'm just have a, personal connection with that name. I tried to buy it back, but the price was extremely too high, so I gave up.
No, for you, and trust me, man, you'll get it. You'll get it probably within the next couple of years. What I'm starting to realize is that there are a lot of people in this space, but you have obviously like proved, you know, how far you can go in the span of just what, 2 years. And so like I said, I can't wait to see what happens in the future. I'm thinking within the next 5 years, man, you'll have so many, you know, domains. It's gonna be ridiculous. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
I just wanted to say, Furion, thank you so much for doing this. We both really enjoyed it, and I'm sure the community is going to love hearing more about Vision and what you've kind of done to create it and your future plans as well. So, thank you for that. Really looking forward to seeing what ENS Vision does in the future.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. The questions were great, and I'd love to talk to you anytime. Just hit me up. And thanks to all your audience as well.